And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Songs of Six. We're going to see if we can bounce back in the ongoing war here. And if we can, I think we're in a good standing to keep the city growing. If we can't, I think this might be where we bring the city to a close. Yeah, you come and lay siege to that city. I'm not going to get 50 guys to defeat 1,277. So we're going to hit the auto-resolve here. They have a lot more siege weapons with this army, so we're not doing as much damage. But we do get 306 casualties on their group. Well, the summit has been lost, looted by the enemy. Our replacements still mobilize, but they're still significantly going to be outnumbered by the enemy. That's 800 men were mobilized. Well, 800 Catonians, to be fair, being mobilized, which is maybe not even the best choice. Gonna build another grain port depot. Yeah, let's try to build another import depot for grain. Sticking the road over here. Although I think it's finances that are getting in our way for importing the grain, or importing the rations. Not grain depot, or ration import depot. I think it's finances are going to get in the way, not really, than the actual import capacity. Where did their army go off to? It's going around to there. So we've got our 800 deployed. We got rations where we can probably increase the strength here. Let's recruit. Let's get 2 batches of Dondorians. And that's what we can afford with our current rations saved up. With that saved, I think we'll actually be a little bit more close to troop parity. Although I wouldn't be surprised if they're recruiting as well. There we go. It's built, so we're going to set that to import rations so that we're only limited by our money, not limited by our storage capacity for the import depots. Two days out, an army will be ready to march. I might intentionally go forth to lay siege to a location once the army is back in functionality. On the map, I think we're still expanding the rest home's done. So assuming we have both the retirement facilities for them, and yeah, assuming we have the retirement facilities for them, we should basically be at retirement cap. Okay, so they're laying siege to the city. We're not going to win a command of that battle. Once again, we're going to auto-resolve. They're going to lose 276 more. And of course, we're going to lose the city, which isn't great. We've got 15 rest homes, so 1,139 current retirees. Should be enough for both retired populations, 76. Although maybe only barely enough for both. We're still going to need one more for more humans. So we're going to want like 3.5 for the humans. And half for the Bretonians. Okay. Okay, so once that's built, that should be enough retirement facilities. I might need more housing, and we'll need more people in to work the jobs that the retirees were previously working, but we'll see if that works. Okay, they're going to go attempt to lay siege to you. I think that's going to be the opportune time to jump with the army. At this point, we outnumber them, which is a good sign. Can I edit one of these guys to mount up? Yeah. We'll see if they actually get their horses in time. I think they got their horses in time. Okay, double checking where they're going. They're going to their march forward to meet them on the road to the city they're planning siege. Renowned priest of Amion arrives in our city. By all reports, the priest arrived without entourage and headed straight to your throne room. Subjects steered clear of the figure clad in the clothes of Amion. Rust-red robe, bleached humanoid bones sewed on after the customary greeting. They asked for the rights to preach in your city. We're going to say no. You get the sense that refusing the request has made the priest just as happy as if you'd accepted. They leave without any fuss and do not even utter the cryptic warnings the priesthood is so famous for. They could have been an impostor, but you might never know for certain. Your citizens appreciate the refusal, but they too wonder what the consequences might be. Yes, we outnumber them by 50%, so we should be able to win the next fight. The question then is, how much of it can we, how much of sort of the campaign backwards, driving them back, will be successful? same time, we have a lot of diplomacy going on in the background, trying to negotiate friendly resolution than absolute annihilation. We have a battle. Don't want to auto-resolve it. We lose the battle if we auto-resolve it. I think we can probably win this in a manual fight, using numbers to our advantage. Once again, North v South battle. Once again, they do have siege weapons that we're going to want to break if we can. This time they have the veteran forces, and I think they're still better equipped than us, so we're gonna have a little bit of a struggle here. We can't cause routes of units fairly early on here. Oh, we've got lots of really small units. Things kind of go according to plan. They will rout due to be scared of numbers. Okay, we're gonna run those down, then we're gonna try to join in up here. just realized the guys I'm trying to have run like horses. Barely got it. Didn't get any horses in the end. So I have my cavalry force riding around as though they had horses when they don't. Things I think are still going our way. Hard to tell with a skirmish like this. So it's lots of red blood, but I think both sides here are red-blooded. The Nivians are the only ones that are blue-blooded. And they make a minority on their side. Well, I suppose that would mean if we saw a lot of blue blood, that would be a very good sign, because we've got no blue-blooded people. Oh, no, we had units break. That's it. I don't have the numbers to win the fight anymore. Okay, we're gonna have to try to restart on this fight. See if we can get this to go better. Because, yeah, that's not a loss ratio we can accept. Okay. So, what I should recognize is these guys that I thought were cavalry, in fact are supposed to be cavalry, did not, in the end, actually get in their horses. In fact, most of our troops did not get their bloody equipment, so we're actually really under-equipped. The enemy definitely has us outnumbered in equipment and in lots of small units. Which means if I can get the fight to go in the way I want it to, that'll be good for us. Just that might not be an easy thing to do. Yeah, looks like I don't have enough to actually get around and flank any of the units. There goes a section of the line breaking, which just means we're just going to fold up at this point. Because the numerical advantage turns into a numerical disadvantage, and... Nope, that's about as good as we're going to get. Okay, I thought I was outnumbering them enough that we'd be able to do it, but distribution of equipment just didn't happen in time, apparently. I honestly might have got a better result by, yeah, the city's fallen. Army's destroyed. We can actually form a new army at the capital. Of course, try to recruit regional troops. Not spears, swords, please. Got swords, you don't have spears. You also apparently do have some spears. Okay. Though Dolph the Mad Eye is trying to loot our treasury, and frankly speaking, he probably is going to get away with it, because not like I have equipment. Yeah, 600 soldiers? No, he's one. I'm just going to have to give him what he wants, which is going to undermine the stability of the town. And of course he's taking equipment away that we needed to defend in the war. Of course he is. Okay. To be fair, if they don't reinforce their army, they're going to reach the point where they don't have enough to actually storm into the fortified locations anymore, but it's still uncomfortably in the far future, not the near future. And I need to make sure that we're actually shipping the swords and armor to the front. Just manually design a bunch more haulers here, see if we can get them moving it. Because I think they're right next to the warehouse where everything's stored, right? I think the only other warehouse that might have been storing weapons was the central one there. Nope, no weapons are stored there. No armor is stored there, so that's not it. the armor. So I'll go grab the armor from there. Armor's better than nothing. Okay, so your desired retiree target is that. Actually, in theory, you got too many retirees at this point. Okay, so it's either too many or too few. Fair enough. Your desired is 48. We're approaching 49, so that's fine. Okay, so we've got the retiree space. They should all be basking in their retirement. Okay, I think I need one more. Hit the target. No, I'm not giving you anything. You can try to seize the stuff. Not in an interesting position where I'm willing to negotiate by giving you stuff. I'm not giving you 1.3 million worth of stuff. I'd rather start a new run at this point. Or it'd have to be stuff. I'm definitely not giving you territory. Okay, they lose another 200 soldiers. Okay, this time we're not going to be so heavily outnumbered because this is just a garrison in raw units, nor are these guys going to be particularly well trained. Although they are equipped and maybe better trained than we are. No, this time we actually got our horses. We actually got our war beasts this time. Okay. Okay, unit's broken. Make the last one break. And we can go lay siege to the town, get our town back. Lost 19 of the unit for 214. Definitely much better odds than they're doing. Taking our stuff. It costs money to upgrade the rest of the way. Okay. At this point, we're just going to abandon the garrison defenses. I need to get the force balanced. Given circumstances, drop the mine. Sure. Yeah, I'm at the point where I don't have anyone working the warehouses. No one's working the export depots. I don't really have enough people to work stuff. Fortified. 3 turns, they'll be reinforced back up to strength. Where did their army go? They're coming back to the place we just lost, or just took from them. Okay. Now, the problem I have with that is it's unfortified, and it's not worth fortifying. And my army's still probably not strong enough to fight them. Okay. How did you get up there if you're trapped up there? Okay, what are they going to do with that army? Okay, they're gonna lay siege to another one of our fortified cities, so we'll let them go do that. We'll go lay siege to the city they just taken, because we can actually siege it out if we give it enough time. Oh, so I've got tons of rations imported just sitting here that, because we have a shortage of workers, is just not being properly stored. Okay. Nope, no, we're not making enough food. Yeah, I need to find a job that we don't need done so we can do less of it, but the problem is we kind of need all the jobs being done, at least while we're at war, and... Well, the job that we ideally could probably pull back on is producing... Well, importing rations for the army, right? But That's hard to do when we're needing the army out deployed. Crowned priests of Krantor rise in our city. The Cotonians in your throne rooms clad in the brown robes typical of Krantor. A particular example appears to have been mended often without much care for appearances, seemingly belying the reports received about this priest of Krantor being quite unusual. Priests of Krantor rarely try to convert anything, relying Krantor's natural popularity on the outskirts of civilization. There might be more to this one than meets the eye, but their offer is pretty straightforward. They will preach in your city and share their agricultural knowledge at the same time. Alternatively, you could take in some Kratonian refugees in exchange for agricultural assistance without preaching. So I could allow the preaching, or I can have 1,000 Kratonians join the city, which initially solves some of our problems. We'll take the Kratonians in. This may have problems. Human priests act the guys as fellow Kratonians to capital. True to their word, they visit your agricultural industries and impart knowledge specific to your region of Six. Most of the advice appears nonsensical and highly situational, but it works perfectly. It is unlikely your subjects will retain much food. Okay, so the temporary science bonus here is pretty small, or the yield farming bonus is really small. Meantime, hopefully that has given us enough odd jobbers that we're less absolutely wrecked on odd jobbers. The flip side is we brought in thousands of people and have no place to house them. Or we'll have no place to house them, so we're going to need to be building housing. Well, that has at least temporarily dealt with the odd jobber problem. Mostly. How can we get them housed? City has been besieged. Okay, so we finally reached a point where they do not feel strong enough to take a city by storm. That works for us. The question is, can it hold out long enough that I can go relieve it? Let's actually do a quick pause. Save. Yeah, let's just save here. Hi, Sally. Okay, because I'm starting this fight, they only take 27. Okay. That's why I wanted to save before we do that, because the retreat is going to delete the garrison, which is not what we wanted. I did want to see what the auto-resolve would be. Because the auto-resolve when they take it by storm is very favorable. Okay, this one is after auto-resolve. Of course, we lose this settlement. Last fortified settlement, although they're down to 129 at this point. Can I afford to put walls up here? We can. Okay. Actually, we already had a garrison there, we just didn't have a... walls. Here we have... No, here we have a garrison as well. I give money... I give them money that I can't give them. Oh no. They give us. No, I'm still gonna say no. So they're marching back to their capital. Okay, so what's happening is I think they're at war with these guys. And because their army is so badly battered, I don't think at this point they can fight both of us. So things may be turning around. Making my carpenters. I think the carpenters are inefficient because the wood was undersupplied. Hopefully that's the problem. Nope, carpenters just overloaded. Okay, that's not good. War of the Faiths due to low happiness, local dispute between two citizens of opposing faiths. Okay, that's not good. Oh, wait. It's got one and a fractional person guy left guarding the fortress at this point. Oh, they're now very interesting in peace. Can I get my regions back? No, not yet. I value that at 4.4 million, and yeah, they've won a bunch of other stuff for it, which is not on the cards at this point. Like, they're open to peace. They're just valuing the peace at like, yeah, we'll give you 100,000 ducats. I'm like, I want my territory back. I would accept white peace from the war start situation, not the current state of affairs. Okay, so that's the force we got to defeat. This is the force we have to defeat it with. Plan is advance, get them flanked, and then push the cavalry into the rear. Here we go. Lost 16 to defeat 257. Okay, another pre-war city returned to its rightful owner, although at this point they've done a number on the city. Still value the peace at about 100,000. Problem is, the regions I want back are probably worth more. Yeah, even the single region's worth more than they're willing to give us in our surrender, or in their surrender, effectively. Trying to do what we can. Just not working very well. As we're trying to get them housed. Of course, the housing, yeah, it's still a housing issue. It's like 600, 700 people in the city still unhoused. Each of those are 60, so that's 360, so that's half of what we need. Oh dear. Might seem weird that I'm suspending these jobs, seeing as we need these jobs, but what I'm doing is I'm suspending everything except for the build the houses bits. Like, we want the rest of the neighborhood eventually, yes. But for the moment, we have a housing issue, and I need the housing issue solved now. Because that's probably the cheapest, quickest bonus we can get. Oh, they're on campaign again. I'm not gonna get there in time, am I? What I need to do is I need to defeat that army in the field. So they're armyless. They end their war with the other guys? I think that's what happened. Yeah, they ended their war with the other guys. And we have a rat. Okay. We weren't able to get the situation solved with the Crotonians quickly enough. Depending on what they've broken, that breaks the city, I think. Especially seeing as we now don't even have enough odd jobbers to run the warehouses anymore. They get assigned correctly again. That's no good. Yep, nope, city's broken. Well, I think that is where we're going to go ahead and end it. If you're watching on YouTube, the next part I think will be a new city. If you're watching on Twitch, you got a suggestion for what you want for the next city. I think we're going to do something slavery-based, because we haven't tried anything with slavery. So if you're watching on Twitch and you have a suggestion of which of the three you would like to see, we can do humans, we can do Talapi, or we can do Garmithi. Probably for the city it would make sense to do Talapi or Garmithi, because we've had Amivians, humans, Crotonians, and Dondorians in the city, so it would probably be nice to do something different. But if you're watching live on Twitch and you want to make a suggestion on what we're doing next, now is the time to put that comment in the chat. If you're watching on YouTube, as I said, the next part will probably be in the next city. If Twitch doesn't make any suggestions before I make a decision, you may... No, if you're watching this on YouTube, by the time this gets up live on YouTube, the decision will be made what we're doing next. But yeah, I hope you have been enjoying it. If you're watching this on YouTube, and you've got suggestions on what you'd like to see do differently, feel free to let me know. In the end, it seems, what brings down all these cities ends up always being a riot. It's usually, I run it until the point where we get a group rioting, whether it's, and this time it's the Crotonians, because we brought a bunch of Crotonians in to try to fix the labor shortage, and they did not appreciate the shortage of housing, which is fair. Or the Amivians when we had to cut back on the food the last time, sort of thing, right? But yeah, this is where I think we're going to bring the city to a close. If you're watching on YouTube, there may be another part up tomorrow, but it will be of the next city. It'll be the first part of the next city. I haven't decided yet whether or not I'm going to play that today. that really comes down to if Twitch makes a suggestion on what they'd like to see next. Or if I'm going to record that during the next recording session 3 days from now. But yeah, this is where this city is coming to a close. I'll put a quick save in here so we can always come back to the destroyed state. The guild. Riot in the city. Make that the save. What I think I'll do is I'll probably rewind to the previous one and have a screenshot that I'll share with Reddit. So to introduce other people into the run, see if they want to see the run. But yeah, at this point, this city is going to be so heavily damaged that we were already kind of balancing on, is the city going to work or not work, because we were so reliant on territories that we lost. This territory is making food, this territory is making food, this is so we're 3 territories of food short. We've cut resource production to do garrison defense. That obviously doesn't mean we're properly defending our or aren't properly supplying the main city. And the city was having logistical issues. Here, let's actually load midstream save, which is a little bit back in the early in the stream, when the city was still a little bit more functional. And we get an idea of how much of a burden the logistics was being. Oh, this is after about the Dondorians. So this is probably going to be a good idea of what the logistics are. Right, so we've got, out of a city of... Okay, the city wasn't stable at 9,000, so let's say the city is stable at 8,000. Out of a city of 8,000, we had 640-ish workers on warehousing, if we were adequately supplying the warehouses. 28 on export depot, 270, 280 on haulers, another 114 on loading stations, like 64 on unloading stations. So I think the logistics could have been tweaked to be more efficient. Maybe not a lot more efficient, right? A lot of people that are more experienced than I am on their videos say that your expectation on logistics is somewhere between 5 to 10%. And obviously that's more than 5 to 10%. Because haulers and loading stations and warehouses, you sort of sum that up, and yeah, that's over 10%. And that's why we were tempted to bring the Dondorians in, which is what caused the city to riot in the end, was to deal with the logistics, because we just needed more people to fix that problem, and we weren't able to get them housed. Partially because you need odd jobbers to build the houses. Expo facto, if you don't have enough odd jobbers to work the warehouses, how are you going to build the houses for the new people? But yeah, there's definitely some things we could do differently. Next time I should probably be a little bit more proactive with embassies, or conversely, I need to be more proactive with the military so I can defeat the enemy. We got surprisingly close to being able to defeat those enemies. But yeah. If you're watching live on Twitch, I don't see any comments suggesting what we should do for the next race. But you're watching live on YouTube, because that will be the recorded video. This is where this city is coming to a close. I think there's a way to do a screen cap. I can share. Yeah, I think I'll try to do some sort of save. Some super screenshots. So this is a screenshot of the. Is there a way I can make that? I don't know. There's probably a hotkey where I can get a whole city view screenshot, which is what I want to get for sharing, if that makes sense. But yeah, this is where this bit comes to an end. I'm gonna stop rambling here. If you're watching on YouTube, feel free to leave comments. I am not what I would call good at this game. I'm still learning, but I'm learning well enough that we can get up to the 800 population tier. There's only one more... if I can go find it. Only one more title tier. when I'm level 2, right? So Astra Invicta, it would be the next one. That would be fairly hard to do, but I can see how that can be done. Right, that was the next step up. And it's loyalty and population to get there. And then we picked up some titles. We picked up different titles than last time, obviously. We didn't do execution, so we don't have areas to hands. Apparently didn't get good enough coverage at the temples. We would have needed 2 temples to do that. We didn't go for nudist here. Honestly, what I might do is I might load one of the earlier saves and just pick up the nudist between runs here, because that would be pretty easy to do. I just tell everyone they can't have clothes. And the city shouldn't shake itself apart that quickly. We picked up the Great. We don't qualify anymore at this point because the city's starting to shake apart, but we picked up the Great, which we didn't do last time. Sadly did not pick up Undefeated. We were pretty close before that last war, but then we started losing fights back to back, which is a shame. You know, we did a bunch of duplicates of previous last time, so we got better first of their name for next time. We got better artisan for next time. We got better merciful for next time. We got better mad for next time. We weren't running sending, although they probably still won't run the sending, even though it's better than it was. Probably run the ones that we mostly did the doubling up on. Actually, I don't really care about government wins. Health, merciful. Might do health. But yeah, this is where this one's coming to a close. And before I ramble on a little bit more, I'm going to wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part and/or stream, and bye for now.